Today I'm going to be trying out my new metallic paints and reviewing what I think of them. They are the Coliro Pearl colors in gold and silver. I've been wanting to get these for over a year, but I put off buying them until now. And by the way, this video is not sponsored. I just wanted to make a video that might help anyone else who was on the fence about these paints like I was. So here's the box that they come in. They're handmade in Germany. It's already got my fingerprints all over it because I can't stop looking at it. Also, you'll have to ignore my fingernails for this video. This is what 6 weeks of staying home with a gel manicure looks like. And here is the palette. These are all the names of the colors. Got Tibet Gold, Inca Gold, Arabic Gold, Gold Pearl, Moon Gold, and Sterling Silver. So 5 golds and 1 silver. And this is me realizing that this is showing that it can work on both white and black paper, which is pretty cool. I'm definitely going to try that out somehow, even though I don't have black paper. I'll figure something out. I'm guessing this extra space in here is maybe to hold a paintbrush. I'm not sure. Doesn't really matter because the paints are what's important, not the case. Also figured out that they pop out, which is really cool. I will definitely be using that for when I take photos because it always looks nice when you take them out of the case and set them near your art. First, I'm going to make a color swatch, so I'm drawing a grid and I'm writing in the names of each color so that I can tell them apart. And I'm using the white paper that I normally use so that I can see how it will look for me when I use it later on. The instructions on the back say to add some water and wait 3 minutes, so we're going to do that. I have no idea if this is the right amount of water or not, so I guess we will find out in 3 minutes. Okay, so they've sat for 3 minutes. Now I'm taking a damp flat brush and carefully working the water into the paint. I do think I started with too much water, but we'll see once it's on the paper. I'm just going to work my way from left to right on the palette as I fill in each square. I'm going to start with the Tibet Gold. It's already so pretty and it's not even dry yet. Going to quickly time-lapse filling in the rest of the squares. This Inca Gold I think is the darkest one and slightly more bronze. These other two seem like your classic gold with the pearl being maybe more clear. And finally the more silvery colors. The camera probably can't pick it up, but look at this water. Oh my goodness. It's like magical, sparkly water. Just waiting for the color swatch to dry. It does seem like they dry very fast as well, so that's good. Like the top row, well, the top one at least. Yeah, the top row is dry. And here they are dry. I'm very impressed with the shine right away, like, wow. When you're not being blinded by the shine, you can see maybe where I put too much water, but that's definitely something I can adjust to. And it doesn't feel like it's going to smear, which is good. Comparing it with the image they gave me, I'd say these first 3 are much prettier in person. And then the second 3 I would say are accurate to what they gave me, which is gorgeous. I think I'm most excited to try the Moon Gold, which is like a rosy, soft gold. I really like the way it looks. Next up, I want to try them on a dark surface, but like I said, I don't have black paper, so I'm going to improvise with some black acrylic paint. And this is just the inexpensive stuff that you would find at any old craft store. Trying to make sure it's completely dry before adding the gold paint. At the time of filming this, I honestly had no idea if this would actually work or not. Water-activated paints tend to be more clear, and I wasn't sure if it would show up or blend into the black and make a big mess. To test this out, I'm just drawing a really simple night sky design with a moon and some stars. I think that would look really good with this type of paint in the event that it does actually work. And it's definitely working. Really happy about that. Now I'm going to continue trying each color in a random pattern. Obviously I had to use the moon gold for the moon. Definitely a good choice there. I would definitely say this was a success. Even though I didn't have black paper, the black acrylic paint worked really well. It stayed dry and didn't smudge. Well, that one smudged a little there, but that was from my hand. I love the contrast, and I definitely want to incorporate this gold on black technique into future projects. For my third test, I want to compare this paint to other gold mediums that I have, which would be acrylic paint and the gold gel pen. So starting with the acrylic paint in that same inexpensive brand, I'm just going to put it over here. Already I can see it's kind of streaky in comparison to the new paint. You can see me trying to smooth it out and adding a second layer. I also want to try adding salt on top of this new paint to see if it reacts the same way that watercolor does with that kind of snowflake effect. I don't know what it's called. So I've waited a few minutes, and the salt actually seems to be preventing the paint from drying, which is interesting. It's not technically watercolor, so that is to be expected. I decided to dab the excess salt and water away with a tissue, which it actually did make a cool texture in the end. Overall, I would say these are all good options for when you want a metallic gold finish. The pearl colors definitely went on the smoothest compared to the acrylic paint, which was streaky in the first layer. With the second layer though, it looks pretty good. And of course the gel pen would also be streaky if you tried to fill a large area, but it's definitely great for adding small details. And I don't think I would use the salt again with this paint, but I would use the tissue to create texture. For my final test, I want to try blending these 6 colors together in a gradient going from darkest to lightest. I think this gold is the darkest one, so I'm starting there, and I'm going to attempt to blend them but not overwork them so we can hopefully see if they will blend naturally on their own. I would say this kind of worked. I like the effect that it created. A little bit splotchy maybe. I think the silver is actually sitting on top of the gold, which is interesting. You can definitely see a few lines, so I probably should have worked the paint a little bit more to blend it a little smoother. And that is all I have for you as far as testing out these new golden paint colors. So, what do I think about them? You can probably tell already from like minutes into the video that I'm very impressed. 10 out of 10, I wish I had bought them sooner. They're a lot more pigmented and shiny than I expected, which is great. I'm very excited to come up with ways to use them in future paintings. The final test for another day will be to see how they react when I scan them to make art prints. If you're interested in getting these paints, I've linked them in the description. At the moment they're about $21 US on Amazon. And just so you know, I'm trying out the Amazon affiliate program, so if you buy them through my link, I'll get a small percentage, which would help me out a lot without any extra cost to you. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to know more about the other art supplies I currently use, be sure to check out my art supply tour video. But before you do that, be sure to leave a comment and let me know if you liked this review.